Welcome to my channel. Today's scary story is going to be one from our community. This one comes from a user, the Midnight Patient. I was working as a nurse in a busy city hospital. It was the kind of place where you get so many patients that if you have the time to give them all the care they need, they call you a miracle worker. My specialty was taking care of the surgical patients, mostly elderly people who had operations for things like hernias or cancers. But during the day shift, there were so many nurses helping out that we could give every patient the time they needed. At night, though, it was just me. So one night when I was charting a patient's progress, I noticed at the end of the dimly lit corridor was this very pale man sitting silently. I could see him out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, who is this guy? Why is he sitting here? He looked to be in his 30s and was dressed in a white shirt and pants. No shoes and no ID badge. As I got closer, I could see that he wasn't moving at all, and he seemed almost translucent. When I stopped right next to him, I could see that his skin was chalk white and his eyes were completely black, bottomless pits. I couldn't help but reach out to touch him, and just as my fingers grazed his arm, he vanished. I was shocked, scared, and confused. I stood there for a moment, wondering if I had imagined the whole thing. Maybe I had seen a patient being wheeled out of surgery, and my mind had played tricks on me. But I knew that wasn't the case. When I turned to leave, I noticed that the clock on the wall read 12:05 a.m. I tried to shake off the encounter, telling myself that it didn't mean anything. But as the night wore on, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every time I looked down at my chart, I could feel his gaze boring into me. At around 11 p.m., I decided to take a quick break. As I stepped out into the hallway, I looked down at my phone, and when I looked up, there he was again, sitting silently in the same spot. I was frozen in place, unable to move or make a sound. Then as quickly as he appeared, he was gone. When I finally managed to make my way back to the nurse's station, I frantically checked the patient logs for the past 2 days, and that's when I saw his name, William Clayton. He had died 2 nights ago after a botched-up surgery. The operation was supposed to be routine, but complications arose, and by the time they realized it, it was too late. From that night onward, the staff started reporting glimpses of William at midnight, always sitting in the same spot, silently waiting. Some said they felt a cold spot in the hospital, while others heard the sound of footsteps in the dead of the night. But none of us ever saw him again. One day a new surgeon joined the team, and when I told him about William, he performed an experiment. He went to the operating room alone at midnight, and as he opened the door, he saw William sitting right outside, his hollow eyes fixed on the doors that took his life. The surgeon slammed the door shut and locked it, and since then, we haven't heard or seen him again. As for me, I still work in that hospital, but now I always keep the lights on at night, and I never take my eyes off the clock. I know that at any moment, just as the clock strikes, I might see him sitting at the end of the hallway, his ghostly form illuminated by the dim light. Thank you for listening. If you liked this story, please show your support. I can't do this alone. This has been your host. Join me next time for more scary stories. Until then, stay safe and sleep tight.